Good evening, people. Good evening. Good evening. This is Spirit Journey. Today is Sunday, good old Sunday evening, April 16th, 2023, and it was about 8:23 p.m. And it is hot today. Boy, it feels very hot. Very, very hot, yes. New York City had really getting hot these days. Friday, I had gone out and it was in the upper 80s. And the prior 2 days from that, Wednesday, Thursday, it was in the upper 60s and 70s. And today, I stayed in today and yesterday, but I am actually really, I had to open up the windows. It's amazing, this weather. I hope you all are doing well. How's the weather where you live? So, what I want to talk about today, I'm going to talk about three topics. Hope I can remember. I put it in the description. I want to talk about three major things. What I heard about the state of Washington. The state of Washington, I think they said that that they either are in the discussion phase or they actually passed a law to provide trans kids or kids that want to go trans. When I say trans, I mean if they were born a boy, they want to be a girl, or if they're born a girl, they want to be a boy. In the state of Washington. Wow. Now, teenagers' bodies are developing. The body is very delicate. Things are, triggering, different levels of hormones are going up or down, The thinking's going to change. They're more emotional. And I don't know what any teenager, what do they really know about life? They have so much ahead of them. But we live in a society right now. I mean, I don't understand how someone. It was never an issue with me what I was, what gender. It was never a discussion. But what is triggering it? I personally believe, it's just my opinion. My opinion about all this, I think vaccines have a lot to do with it. And kids will believe almost anything, but people in general, you don't even have to be a teen, you could be an adult. Anything you hear with the media, and if the media keeps on showing it or saying certain things, you start to think that that's what everybody believes. Just because the media repeats this like a parrot doesn't mean that everybody thinks or feels that way. But because you hear it all the time, you think, oh, it's a new trend. And so now, I mean, this trans thing has just been here maybe just a couple of months. Just a couple of months in intensity. But prior to that, you really didn't hear that much. It seemed as though that, in my opinion, that something is being socially engineered, and they have these laws or whatever ready to be signed. They probably already wrote it up because you have social engineers, social scientists, And they have their discussions, in my opinion. I speculate. And once the trigger is set, they have the bills ready and they present it. I'm very sad about this because I feel leave children to be children. Why push sexuality on children, innocent children, who are very impressionable? The bodies are still changing. You're a teen? It's horrible. So what this law in Washington State says, if I understood right, that they will build these centers for them, like a safe house, for them to run away to with anonymity, or host families, and they don't have to disclose that these kids are with them. Who are these people who are going to house these kids? To sponsor, who are they? Are these weirdos? Are they pedophiles? What are they? Whether these kids want to change their gender or their body parts, you still got to be careful where they're staying. I know of someone that even worked at this place. What's it called? I forget that. Wow, I forget the name of the place. Oh, Covenant House. Covenant House, a place for teens who runaway teens in New York City. It's been here for ages. I don't see the building anymore. I don't know whether they changed the location, whatever. But it was in Midtown Manhattan on the west side. And young kids can go there. And I know of a former teacher, my high school teacher. He was fooling around with 2 teen girls. And the girls found out about each other, that they were involved with the same teacher, and they spoke out. And the guy retired. He was to go to trial, or some type of hearing, but he kept on, oh, I can't make it, or something like that. He was buying times for his retirement. He retired and got full pension. Yeah, smarty pants. Well, he left that school and he worked at Covenant House. Yes, he did. Could you imagine? A pervert. What did they do to protect these kids? I kid you not. He was working at a place of teens and he was having sex with teenagers. They didn't screen him as his former employer. So look at these safety houses, or whatever what they want to call it, for these teens who feel like they want to snip. These kids are in danger. And I'm very sad about that. I'm very sad that that these kids aren't given the privilege to remain children. Shouldn't they be focused on their studies, learning about, reading good books, learning math, all these, because the school is not there for, I guess, education anymore, but an indoctrination. To indoct your children to be confused about what they are. They don't want children around. They don't want children who are My little doggy. What's up, baby? Come over here. Come over on the other side. My little doggy. Come over to the side. You heard my little doggy bark? Come here, Lilac. Lilac, come. Go on the other side. Come here. Come. Lilac, come. Lilac, come over here on the other side. Come, baby. Can I hear her steps? Come here. Let me get you. Come here, baby. Well, I can't get her. Oh, well. Well, anyway, I think this is a real big setup that they again, these social scientists, they're targeting and want to destroy your children, in my opinion. They don't love children, and they'll do anything to stop these kids from achieving adulthood as the gender that they're born with, and by altering their sex or cut off certain body parts, then they cannot reproduce. And I think that is the main thing that they're doing. That is their motive. Let's make movies, or let's have these performers and confuse the children. Oh, I'm a little confused. What kid isn't confused about life? I was very self-conscious about my body because it's changing. Hormones and the shape of your body changes. That's everybody. Doesn't mean that, oh, I should change my gender. Boy, this is a society that is so focused on their body, about looks. It's like the girls, they just want to focus on their eyelashes and eyebrows. Eyelashes, eyebrow, you notice? Maybe 20 years prior, it was about the lips. Get the lips looking a certain way. Don't you ever wonder what they put in that makeup? They have these metallic eyelashes. Don't you think those nanoparticles are going to get inside your body via your eyes? It's so close to, it'll go right in. I'm very sad about it. Everything, they're confusing these young children. And I'm angry as well. Here they're going to find money. Where are they going to get this money? They're going to fund this thing so that they can that they don't have to tell their parents where they are. So a minor could leave their home and go in some facility to get a major procedure done. They can die during the procedure, right? They can die in this thing. And then after the procedure, to go to these safe houses via perverts. You don't think they're going to make questionable films, sex films with these kids, these confused kids? You don't think that? And really exploit them. This is a no-no. Where's our society? This administration. See, you guys got so worked over about the word racism, and you got blinded by that. You think everybody loves everybody? You think every individual, because someone claimed that they don't like certain people. And that's enough to vote for someone who had a bad history in politics. for 40 plus years. And you don't stop them. This administration was put in, I mean, this was a whole plan, I think. Let's focus on racism or whatever, and then we got a real agenda. We're going to go after your kids regardless of the race and sterilize them. Have safe houses for them so they can be what they want to be. I don't have any children, thank God. But you may have children. People who are listening may have children or young nieces and nephews or cousins, young cousins. It's by design. How could you take? I mean, you in school you can't even give a child, like, let's say, an aspirin without asking the parents. So how could it bypass the parent and do a major operation? They can bleed to death. See that? With something like that being done, then you might as well just keep those kids. These parents say, you do that to my kid, don't give me, don't give me the rights. Then you take care of them. You pay for their college. You pay for their wedding. If they want to get married, you pay the bill. You pay the medical. But see, it's going to come out of your pocket. It's going to come out of the public. How are they financing this? The past 3 years, so many businesses, like I live here in New York City, so many businesses are out of business. So many of them. If they're doing this in Washington State, to either the law was passed or that it's being discussed. But it was my understanding that it got passed. That they're going to give children the right to want to change their body parts and have a facility for them to get it done and to recover or whatever, and have what they call sponsored parents or families that they can stay with. Those people are going to be questionable, perverts. But then I started thinking, I said, wait a minute, they're getting somehow financing all this. This is going to cost millions of dollars. So I said to myself, wait a minute. This bill, I think, was passed by the Democrats in Congress. They all agreed for it to pass it. Now people, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, why should that make a difference? What don't people have morals? I would imagine they wouldn't want their children to go under the knife. How could someone, by party lines, both people have children, Republicans and Democrats? So how could it be that one party would want to favor something like that, this wickedness over the children? But then I started thinking, they're going to pass that, but for people who want to discuss about reparations for American blacks, descendants of families that were enslaved, I never hear about these discussions in the country. I mean, if it's just, I mean, if Washington State is the first, it's going to spread to the other major cities. But I'm angry that here you had, I know reparations is a very controversial topic. Some people think, oh, you're punishing white people, of today, and blah blah blah. They didn't have anything to do with what happened 100+ years ago. It's not about the current population, but the descendants of the people who were enslaved and the reparations. It's about to repair, and it's about not the white people, it's the government. It was, slavery was authorized by government. And that's where I'm coming from with that. But if you're going to pass something like that, then you should really discuss about this reparations. I think it's only fair because it's getting too crazy here. Lack of moralities. People are just losing their mind. And I did that video a couple of days ago. I was upset about something. The things that happened in New York City. And I said, if they're not going to address certain issues here, if you're not going to change it and protect the people here, then, I don't want to stay here. Give me my reparations. Let me go. Pay for my my one-way ticket and my dogs. And if I want to bring my belongings, I mean, the whole packet. And start a life somewhere else, yeah, and pay for my housing. Pay it off. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. I feel I don't want to live around things that this evil. I don't want to be around. I'm not into this. What I see happening around me. I'm really conservative. I'm really conservative. I strongly feel this way. Yeah, I mean that should be discussed. Reparations. What is the nation going to do to repair? And I think a lot of the things that are happening within the black community stems from the past, stems from not being loved by society. When you see yourself in history books, they have Dadeville. Can't see anything. Who's causing the most evil in the community? Individual, though. Who's causing the most evil in the community? That's a good question. Who's causing the evil? I think I think there's social engineering individually. Okay, I'm not sure what you mean. I'm not sure your question. Oh, okay, well, let me read it. Who's causing the most evil in the community individually, though? What do you think? What do you think, Dadeville? What's causing all this melee? Yeah, I don't like the chaos. It's social engineering, and it's causing anxiety in me. These poor kids, they can find money for transgender teens or children, but they're never bringing up the issue as a nation for reparations. And if you talk about reparations, you're told that, oh, you have unforgiveness in your heart. It's not about unforgiveness. It's about correcting a wrong that is still plaguing you. In fact, I had a doctor's appointment, a dentist appointment on Thursday. I think it was Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. And when I was going there, I saw a construction site. And guess who worked at this particular construction site? All the people that I saw working there looked like people who were from Central and South America. And some of them were talking, and they had a very heavy accent. And they even had women, two women working there. They had like a sign, where they could say walk or don't walk, for the people. Yeah, they all were from, looked like from Central and South America, mestizo types. And my mouth just dropped. How is that possible? And yet again, in New York City, you have a lot of blacks, a lot of black men who are jobless. So if you're just coming from another country, how does a construction site, and when you work at a construction site, it's usually union. You have to have a union card, and you make some good ass money. But how did this one become all one particular thing and not have at least American citizens at this work site? How are they bypassed? How are they? Yet New York City historically has not been kind to the black population. And I feel sad. I mean, I want everyone to have a chance in life, regardless of their background. It's nice to extend a hand to others outside of your community. But I feel that you should take care of your own first. Your babies, you feed your children first. And if you have extra milk, whatever, you can share. It's nice to share. But you should feed your own first. And I feel sad about that. So that work site, again, I saw on Thursday, this past Thursday, and that leads into my next topic. Oh, there were two incidences. There was two teens that no, I'm sorry, four teenagers who were, I have to be careful the words I use, a bang bang. They were bang banged at a club. Yeah, that was in Alabama. I think it's called Dadeville, the town of Dadeville in Alabama. 20 were wounded and 4 that was killed. And then the media showed this footage. It was really weird. Now, they showed, the incident happened in the evening, yesterday evening, around 10:30 p.m. And then the scene that they showed was in the daytime, and you see these adults, just some was standing, some was sitting. The area that they had all the women, these grown adult women, and they looked like they were smiling and laughing amongst themselves. I didn't understand it. And, oh, look, just a moment. My little doggy, you want to get up here? My little doggy wants to get up. Let me grab her. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, oh, finally got her. Sorry about that. Okay, she's fine now. Yeah, it just looked weird to me. Some of them had like a blanket on. I said, "Boy, wasn't it hot yeah, on Saturday? This is Alabama. That's the South. It gets hot. It starts to get hot early. I mean, it's getting hot here in New York." I said, "Wow, they wearing a blanket." So I don't know whether I don't know. Was it taken at some other day, and they're just showing that? I mean, I don't know. What was the weather like in Alabama on on Saturday? 'Cause I thought it was warm, so I didn't understand why they had blankets out there. But they looked like they were laughing and having a good time. This is 20 people are wounded and 4 were killed. People, I don't understand this. And I'm assuming because the name of the club, Mahogany Club or Mahogany Lounge, and all the people that were standing and watching were people of mahogany color. So I said, wow. It's not even summer yet. And oh, it was a birthday party. It was a sweet 16 birthday party. And someone from the outside of the building shot inside the event from outside the window. Why would you do something like that? What makes people do foolish things? And then right after that, I think it was the same day it happened. There was another incident. This one happened. Chicago. In Chicago yesterday, I think he said. Yeah, I watched this YouTuber who lives in Chicago, and they said it was about 100 teens. Yeah, it looked like about 100. Yeah, it easily could have been 100 teens. And 2 teenagers got shot. Oops, I wasn't supposed to say that word. 2 of them. I think they're in stable condition. And some of the people were vandalizing cars. And the YouTuber that was sharing that information said, "But where are the parents? Do the parents know where their kids are?" I remember growing up in New York City. They would announce on the news, "Do you know where your children are? Do you know where your children are?" Well, it seems like it would be very appropriate now to say the same thing over the news. Do you know where your children are? How is it that so many met up? I mean, about 100. Yeah, it looked like something like that. How does this happen? How is that they meet? I mean, um, a crowd that big? Was it something done like on social media? Hey, let's meet up at such and such. But one question I started asking myself when I saw this, um, why is it that, okay, the person that gave the report is a black man. And he himself said, again, he lives there in Chicago, and he said that probably over 80% of the people look like him, of the kids, black kids. And I asked myself, okay, what, why are they there? And then I asked myself, now Chicago doesn't just have black people. Chicago has all different types of people. What do the white kids do in the suburbs? Where do they go and congregate? What makes the people do different things? What makes these young black teenagers? Well, we don't know who shot at those two people. Just because they were teens that were shot does not mean that a teen shot them. That was a good point. We're assuming, but you never know what happened. But I asked myself, what do I've never heard of in Chicago a whole bunch of young white teens, 100, and shooting. Why is it that things like this seem to happen? I mean, I'm born and raised in New York City. And some things that happen in New York City does not hit the news. I remember when I was in high school, and there were a pack of dudes, and they were running and beating up people, and I witnessed. I witnessed with my own eyes. And it did not hit the news. They didn't want to frighten. This was like, in the 1970s. Yeah, 1970s. Yeah, things like this happen. And sometimes it doesn't hit the news because they don't want to frighten certain people, certain residences. Where do the other ethnic groups, what do they do? How do they cope? Because not everybody's going to get a job, right? Not everybody, I was a teen once, and for the summer, I had to stay in the house and do my chores. Oh, yeah. My father worked in the school system, and so when summer was out, when summer came, he was off. We had chores to do. How is that they able to go out? And don't some parents learn? Hey, it's dangerous out there. Keep your kids at home. Have them do their chores. Have them study. Go to the library. Something. How come you only usually just hear it happen in black dominated neighborhoods? I never hear white people meeting by 100 and acting wild like that. Maybe those sorority parties, things like that, but like this. And again, I live in New York City. We have other so-called minorities. We have a large Chinese or East Asian community. I never heard of them running around in packs and doing this type of stuff, or people from like India and Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. I've never heard of them congregating and doing this type of foolishness. Why is this, people? When I was a teenager, the media tried to make it seem like it's something biological, because something's wrong with our skin color. This has nothing to do with skin color. This has to do with social engineering. There was something that I saw. Oh, I remember. It was a book that I just started reading, and the author is a white man from Britain, and he talked about his youth. I mean, I just read just a couple of chapters. I'm reading on his childhood, and within Britain, to my surprise, the type of things that happened to this man, who's now a man, a grown man, the violence that this man went through, the type of people he associated with, people who did drugs, booze, a lot of violence. And it was an eye opener, people. It was an eye opener to me, being from New York City in America versus Britain. And I see that different nations have their own victims. And what do I mean by that? Now, in the United States, my growing up, they made you think that only black people got problems and only black people do violence. Well, when you go into Britain, they have their own social structure. They have a lot of white people in Britain. It's a European country. And within their social structure, you have the have and the have-nots. And so the type of things that you would have here in America of poverty, of violence, of drug use, you have it there within Europeans. You have some Europeans who are more privileged than others. They might base their social economic due to maybe their religion, or maybe their national origin. But either way, the behavior that this book that I'm reading, it's like the same. The craziness that this guy went through, you start looking at it, it could happen. So it's letting me know it's not biological. It is a social engineered problem. Each nation seems to have its own twist upon young people. Yeah, people who are high school dropouts. And the same type of ills happen to them in Europe. Yeah. So this is happening here in America. You have some demographics who fall ill over this social engineering. It's not even summer yet. I mean, spring is just 1 month into spring, not even a month into spring yet. And people are doing foolishness. People, parents, I should say parents. It is the parents' responsibility to do something for their children, to protect their children. Why can't you keep your kids home? What about in a lot of black communities, they have these churches. They can't handle them? You got all these churches, at least in New York City, you got, the poor areas got all tons of churches. Tons of them. Wow. Seems like more churches, you got more violence. Horrible, horrible. Yeah, you got to take control. I mean, I don't have children, and and I guess it's harder when both parents are not at the home. Many black families, it's run by a female head of household, and now it seems like in the black community, they're pushing that uh, how do you say that alphabet soup lifestyle. You got a lot of angry women, and it just seems like they have this angry anti everything. Yeah, you got to come together. You know, you gotta have some type of meeting. It's because it's if if you don't have, I mean, if your children are going to do those things to their body with this transgender movement now, that bill that was passed in I think it was passed in Washington State. Those safe houses for the trans kids to get the procedure done and to recuperate. Where's all this money coming from? They can't get money in a program to or have those black kids work at the construction site. You can get all these illegals and house them, but you're not going to do something for your own people, your own Americans. These are still American citizens, whether you like blacks or not. These are American citizens, and you're going to find money to help illegals or foreign workers. I mean, some countries you cannot get a job at the country. You know, you have to have like a what do you call an advanced skill or something to be able to get a job there. That jobs go to the citizens first. So we can't have that. Why don't we have that here? Well, because they don't want certain people in America to have jobs. And a lot of these blacks, I think, are acting out because they know they're being displaced by certain new immigrants. And no, this is not an anti immigrant rant either. There's nothing wrong for people coming from any country to who want to assimilate and come in here legally. But I think it's ethical to employ your American citizens first. It is only right. Just like if you go in their country, other people's country, it'd be the same thing, right? Why aren't they hiring these black teens or even black adults? Let's say they're in their 20s. Why weren't they on that job site that I saw? Because they don't like certain people here. It's horrible. And the attitude, like I had gone to my favorite store to buy some things, and like some things you have to pay for the pound by the pound, like these nuts I bought. And I saw that the numbers didn't seem to be what I had remembered, and I had wrote it on the bag. I said, "Excuse me, miss, I'm looking at such and such, and I I see a different price per pound." So you know, it was a new employee there. First time I ever seeing her, and yes, she's from the black community, young girl, and she acted like she didn't give a you know what. She says, "Well, that's the code that you gave me, and that's the price it says." I said, "Well, on the, you know, I wrote on the bag how much it was. Well, this is the price." So what they were supposed to say is, "Oh, I'll have someone check." And again, I was to actually benefit from the price that she put down, but um, I saw a different price that was much higher. And when she just looked at me like I don't give a, you know what? I said, forget it. And I feel kind of badly. But yes, I did say, hey, I thought the price was blah, blah, blah. And maybe I should have pushed the issue. But I saw the girl just did. See, when you don't care, people know it. And you should be grateful that you got a job. You should be grateful. But the mindset of some of the people from the community here, the black community here, it's like they don't care about life. Yeah, she's lucky she got a job. She's lucky. She looks about maybe 18 years old. Yeah, that place, they don't hire. I mean, back in the day, like 20 years ago, there were two black men that used to work there. They no longer are there. But that particular store, they hire all different types of people. It was a fantastic store. Fantastic. Um, Much of the old timers that worked there when I first started visiting there 20 years ago, they left. It used to be a very family atmosphere, but now they got new people, and I don't like them. I don't like their attitude, and uh, when they do get, I'm just going to say it. When they do hire some of the black women at that store, they are spooky. They act spooky. And it's like, wow, this is sad. Really sad. Really sad. It's like I don't want to go there anymore. The attitude. Why are we acting this way? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Is it just strictly the past 3 years? Even before the C9, I call it C19, with the pandemic. The attitude of many of us. There's violence on the train, when I go to see family in one of the other boroughs in New York City. Um, yeah, I told of this incident that happened to me before. Um, yeah, now in Queens, like I used to live in Queens, and the people that go on the train there now are either Asian or Hispanic type, phenotypes. You very rarely see any black people. But one day, I went on the train, and it was just one other black person, an elderly black man, sitting directly across from me, coincidentally. Yeah, he was there when I came on the train. And two female thugs of the community uh, were harassing me. There were many seats on the train that they could have sat down, but they came instead to harass me. Isn't that sad? And I felt that if I say anything back to them, and I'm fine. Again, I'm not gonna. Two females, in the 20s probably, or early 20s, and I'm much older. I'm old enough to be their mother. And if a fight breaks, I would be arrested. And that's what the fear was. They see a whole bunch of black people, black female. Oh, let's just arrest all of them. And that's what my fear was. That is the fear in New York City. If you're a black person, an innocent black person, you just so happen to be, and something happened. The cops don't want to find out what the problem was. They just, oh, let's just arrest all of them and find out what happens later on. And that is my fear. And I was attacked almost 2 years ago by a white female. And when I told the cop, I'm the one that even summoned the cop. It happened in broad daylight, 2:30 in the afternoon, in the middle of the street. A woman, young woman, hits me in the center of my chest. Painful. God, she hit me so hard. She kept on going, and I finished crossing the street because we were in the middle of the street. And I saw someone at the corner, and I thought they were a police officer, but they were the traffic cops, the traffic people. And they said, "Oh no, we're not cops." And I said, "Please help me find a cop. I just got attacked." Someone helped me get a cop within like 20 seconds. I told the cop what happened, and then the witnesses were pointing the direction where she went. The cop got her. And then she was starting to fight. And 3 other cops came to assist the other cop. So 4 cops to subdue this one young white female. They had to sit on the curb with handcuffs. And they seemed to like her, how they were acting. And then she started throwing up because she was drinking. And they got an ambulance for her. Yeah, I'm the one who's hurt because I got hit in the chest. And I told the cop that was in charge, I said, "That's the person that attacked me. I want her arrested and prosecuted." You know what happened? The cop was yelling at me. Said that what she did is not considered an assault. It's just called harassment. I said, "Oh, really? She hurt me. I'm in pain." Well, I don't see any blood. It was a female Hispanic cop there also. And she was just as nasty as the white cop. Yeah, the 3 white male cops and 1 Hispanic female cop. And I was made to feel like I was the criminal. See, my instincts were correct. That it's like they're looking for to make an excuse to do, the system. And no, I'm not anti-police. No, I'm used to uniforms. I used to be in the military. You in a uniform, you do your job. But it's the attitude of what's changing in places like New York City or Chicago. People getting fed up, and the BLM and Antifa over the past 3 years really made it bad for innocent black people. And so the cops don't know who's a good black or who's a bad black. They're fed up. A lot of blacks did a lot of bad things during those riots for the past 3 years. A lot of bad happened. And they were told to stand down and not arrest. So now when a white person does violence on a black person, let's get her out. And I think that, excuse me, and I think that's what happened. And that was the attitude. I'm very sad about it because, see, I care about all people. See, it's everybody, um, we, we're all responsible for what we do. And everything affects everything else. To release a violent person, I wasn't the only one that got attacked by that lady. In the middle of the street, she had attacked two other older men. One of them, coincidentally, a black man, and the other man, I'm not sure what he was. And it wasn't considered a bias crime. They didn't want to even interview me. They didn't care. They wanted to save this young white. I think she was from out of town. She didn't look like a local girl. And then he was saying that, oh, well, she got something about her schizophrenia and her medication. Like I really care. But people aren't caring anymore, and that is by design. But parents, you gotta, you have to take the initiative. I mean, I don't have kids, but I'm sure it's really hard. What to do? Especially if you're a single parent. It wasn't always like this. We have to fight back to keep what is good. It's not a bad thing to be old fashioned. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to have a husband and a wife that they get married first and then have children. It usually works out better. We have to take responsibility. We have to say, enough is enough. I'm just, I'm dumbfounded. It's not even summer, it's springtime. And kids are acting out. I don't even know whether are the colleges out these days. I mean, I don't even know now with the pandemic. Are the colleges in full open these days? I don't know. I don't know how they're handling it. Could they afford it? Boy, I'm really sad about New York City. It's. I just say, people, whatever kids you have, you got a phone, call them on their phone, say, come home now. Come home now and hug your children. Tell them that you love them. Say, look, we have to do something to survive as a family. Or maybe just have that reparations package. Say, you really don't like us being here in this country. Send us on our way. Buy us a ticket, money for housing. Get out of here. That's how I really feel. You really don't want us. But running away is not the answer either. So if you got problems here in your own country, you're going to bring those same problems overseas or wherever where you go to. I used to live in the state of Hawaii. And the U.S. Does target practice on some of the islands in the Pacific Ocean. The government has an agreement. You allow us to bomb your island as target practice, but we take some of the kids and bring them to these schools. I saw one of those children in those schools. They are wild. Yeah, these are Pacific Islanders, boy. The same type of attitude that you see in the States with the American blacks. Well, those Pacific Islanders, you see the same spirit. It's a spirit. It has nothing to do with race. They want to make it seem like it's something biologic. Nope. It is social. You get someone who's you know, place being bombed, the radiation, the fear that they must be feeling. Yeah, I remember that young girl. They have like a home for these kids, like a foster home thing. Yeah, they are angry. Yeah, that was in Hawaii. Yeah, see, a lot of things they don't tell people. They see a lot of these. We watch these videos on YouTube about what it'd be like to live in certain countries and stuff like that. Um, you know, what, where do they get the idea about paradise, and why does paradise have to be a tropical place? See, I think where we get the concept of paradise from the Bible, and we think that paradise there was some tropical place. Paradise doesn't mean a tropical place. It's your state of mind. Paradise is a state of your mind. Because I lived in the Pacific Islands, and there's some angry people there, sad people there, and some of them moved to the U.S. mainland, and criminality happens. I know of people who, they go to church. Family go to church, and their sons in particular, they send their boys to live with relatives, over in the mainland. And guess what happens? Criminality, violent crimes. Yep. And they're in jail for a long time. I think they got 20 years armed robbery. Oh God. What makes a man do that? You just got over there. Yeah, it happens, people. It happens. You know, it wasn't paradise. You got a lot of hurting people there, but maybe some behavior is a little. I mean, the culture is a little different. But you have people who make bad choices. And they got drugs in Hawaii too. Oh, yes, they do. But people only show that you got nice blue water and sand. That doesn't really make a play. That's not solely what a place is based on. Yeah, I lived there. I lived in Hawaii for almost 3 years. It's hard life. Island life is hard. You don't make money. And the so-called local, indigenous population, boy, I don't know how they survive. To get your own place, it's not affordable. It's not I don't know how they survive. I don't know where they get money. Maybe they live, maybe this, yeah, it's hard to get public housing. So they have a type of, it's by lottery or something like that. Yeah, I applied even before I even arrived there. I found out about this housing thing there. I never got in. They never considered my ticket. Yeah, it's a lot of politics. Yeah, yeah, there is a lot of politics in Hawaii. A lot of it. Yeah, so things could happen in any country. I'm learning. It's not just America. You have hurting people in the Pacific Islands. You have people hurting in Britain. And I just heard something with Russia. They mentioned that like this person was saying that the Russian women, they like to dress up even when they go in shopping for food because there's a man shortage. And then in another video, they specified, what was that, 10 to 1 or something like that? That a man, that there's 10 to 1, 10 women for each man. What's happened with the men there? Don't you think that's signaling a problem? I mean, I don't know what town in Russia, but boy, that probably get a lot of women angry. And they'll explain why you have a lot of women, Russian women, those articles, what do you call it, those in the back of magazines that they have a woman with a Slavic name, these dating things. And these are some of these women are brilliant. Some of them could be doctors and stuff like that. So they have their degrees, and they're living like, hello. Yeah, this could be stressing. It's a stressful planet. This is a stressful world. We have to we have to really we have to ask ourselves, what do we really want, and say enough is enough. Let us bring back the sanity. Bring back sanity. Stop meditating. Say, we bring back sanity. We bring back love into society. We bring back, we call upon peace, joy, all these things. These leaders, some of these leaders, I should say, some of these leaders are not looking for our best interests. They got their pensions. When they leave office, they take their this pension or this health insurance plan. They get good health benefits. This is really something else. Really, really something else. Yeah, all these things are, again, as I said, in my opinion, by design. These incidences that are happening in black communities here in the States. And it's not even summer. And then as I mentioned, the trans. These are housing. They're going to build a housing for people who want to change the gender, and using your tax dollars, but yet they won't even consider reparations or setting up homes for the homeless Americans. Wow. So, yeah, these are my thoughts. These are my thoughts. Well, I don't know what to do, but I know I need to keep, work on my health. Yeah, my blood pressure was increasing, but I want to take active steps Yeah, I was tired from Friday. I did go out Friday. And yeah, I thought about doing it for a while now. I have this lounge chair. I showed you it about almost 2 years ago. But yeah, I purchased this lounge chair. You could recline in it, and it folds up nicely. And me and my little dog's in the stroller. I put the thing right on top of the stroller, and I went to my park, did my little walk in the park, and then I said, I'm going to park it out right here. So I opened up my lounge chair right by a creek. It was fantastic, people. It was fantastic. And you know, my chest felt better. Yeah, I get my anxiety in my chest. I sat down there and it felt beautiful. I was there for a couple of hours, about three, three, 3 or 4 hours, and then I had to change location because the sun was really starting to beat down on me, boy. Um, it felt good. So that's what I want to work at, to get my blood pressure uh, back into the normal. You know, a couple of months ago was fine. So something, emotionally is happening to me now, the stress. And work on my diet too, my cholesterol and all that. So have gotten this vegan meals. Oh, and eggs. But I'm only going to eat 2 eggs a week. I'm not going to go too severe on the egg. I love eggs, but I don't, want to, you know, eat it in moderation. So 2 eggs a week, and eat my veggies and stuff like that. Get some fresh air and sunshine, and try to do some reading. Want to read some books. I need to change the way I think. Just need to encourage myself. That's one thing, people. And you have to encourage yourself. Yeah, and please pray for me. Pray for my situation to, I want to keep a positive mindset for myself, for my health. Uh, just live a clean life. Get some air. I think tomorrow it's going to rain here in New York City. If it does, I can't. I'm not going to sit out there, but um, we'll see. We'll see. So I hope I do go out tomorrow. Um, yeah, I hope all is well with you. Um, yeah, so I hope you understand the words that I'm saying here. Um, yeah, you can leave your comments below. Uh, you can share your experiences, what's happening in your community, and what is your community doing to try to, you know, bring to awareness what's happening to these teens. That a bill is being passed that they can take your kids because the kids want to change themselves, they change their gender, and it's without the parents' permission. They're taking away parents' rights. What are you doing in your community about this? Are your churches? Do the churches know about it? What is your church doing if you belong to a church? Let me know in the comment below any solutions and or things that you are doing to cope. I know I'm not the only one that's getting stressed out here. What are you doing to manage these stressful times? Okay. Yeah, I say I've been on for 79 minutes now. Thank you for listening all, and I wish you peace, love, and protection for you and all your families. Please call your children back home. Tell them to get off the street. Please. Please give them options Start demanding from your senators or congressmen or the people in your local government to have something for these young people in the summer. They're bringing in all these illegals to take their jobs from them. Shame on these people that are behind all this. Oh well. So I thank you again. Peace, love, joy, and harmony to all you who are listening. And I wish you again safety. Take care. Be well.